Hello everyone, welcome back to Fundrise Finance. With the end of August, we have finished two-thirds of the year so far. The month of August being a bit of a roller coaster in the markets. Started nicely, but then began to dip. We saw a pullback of close to 5% through middle of the month, and then a nice recovery of over 3%. So overall, the S&P 500 ended 1.51% for the month of August. Year to date, the momentum is still on the upward side. We see an overall gain of 17.87%. So we can say almost 18% for the year so far. The Dow Jones fell over 2.5% for the month of August. For the year, it is just under 5%. The Nasdaq was almost down 7% through middle of the month, but overall it ended just 1.74% in the red. Year to date, though, the Nasdaq is still well into the green, up over 35%. So when you look at the overall map of the S&P 500 for the month of August, we can see a few outliers. Eli Lilly up almost 22% thanks to a blowout results. Then Amgen up over 11%. Then Nvidia continued its run up almost 11.5%. Google almost 7% for the month. Amazon 7.5%. The captains of the market, Apple and Microsoft, didn't do as much. Microsoft was pretty muted. Apple got a reality check. It was done almost 10% through middle of the month, but then recovered. Energy had a good August. You can see ExxonMobil over 5.6%. Overall, we can see more red than green, and that's what reflects in the market overall. Here we can see energy being the best sector for the month, up over 3%, and utilities the worst, down over 5%. The CNN Fear and Greed Index is currently in a neutral state, but when we look what happened through the month, it started in extreme greed, then we started to see a dip through the middle of the month. Here we can see by August 17th, we entered the fear territory and then recovered slowly back into the neutral side. They say it's a seasonality factor. August and September are typically weaker months of the year. Nobody has any explanation why that is. It is what it is. But we are here not to speculate, but to show real results. And that's what I'm going to do in this video today, where we're going to see how much my portfolio made in dividends for the month of August. And like I showed in the last video, wherein I moved my entire M1 Finance portfolio into my Fidelity account. So without any further delay, let's check out the portfolio status. So with the transfer of my M1 account into Fidelity, the portfolio balance over here jumped from 40,605 to over $65,000, and then the account balance started to dip along with the market. You can see here by August 17th, my 65,300 balance went down to 62,900, around $2,400, but then it recovered back and it's currently at almost $64,000. Looking at the dividends in this portfolio for the month of August, these are the entire list of dividend transactions that happened through the month of August. You can see a dividend of $65.25 from Verizon, and then as a single penny on Devo. This was transferred from my M1 portfolio into Fidelity, and $3.87 from Toronto Dominion, $6.27 from JetQ, $5.84 from JP, $5.15 from One Main Holdings, $1.20 from General Dynamics, $3.88 from Northwest Bank Shares, $1.13 from AO Smith, $1.53 from Realty Income, $2.44 from Procter & Gamble, $6.31 from Omega Healthcare, $1.18 from Hormel Foods, $1.70 from Abbott Labs, 91 cents from Main Street Capital, $36.50 from Unum Group, $1.31 from Paychex, 31 cents from Clorox, $55.65 from Citigroup, $4.86 from UPS, $35 from Conagra Brands, and $8.17 from Arbor Realty. Going back to this transaction, $3.49, that's the interest paid on my cash in this portfolio, a sweet 4.91% yield. And this is my Google tracker for all my portfolios. Here we see for the Fidelity portfolio, the current value is $63,750, which is, I would say, $180 less than what it was showing in the Fidelity account. That's because the remaining is the cash that I'm holding. So this portfolio currently has an annual income of $2,513.25, yielding 3.94%. So here, adding up all the dividends from the month of August, it comes out to $251.96. So that's what we see here on this chart. Now, after transferring my M1 portfolio into Fidelity, I expect from here on these lines will be much longer than what they were in the last 2 years, but slowly they will normalize. The same reflects in quarterly also at $349 for Q3 so far, with one more month of September remaining. Usually, the third month of the quarter is my highest paying month, so I'm really looking forward to how much I get paid. Annually, I'm at $817.37, much higher than what it was in 2022, even without the M1 portfolio being added that we saw in the last month's video. Going by my favorite chart over here, the dividends by quarter, I can see a nice laddered growth. I'm sure by end of Q3, with the addition of September data, this number should be higher than $400. Let's see. Looking at the expected dividend payments in this portfolio for the month of September, we can see a whole bunch of stocks paying me. Let's look at those stocks which have actually recently increased their dividends and are paying me in the month of September. You can see Cummins raising the dividend by 6.5%. Target was a disappointment. It just raised by 1.8%. Then PPG Group raising its dividend by 4.62%. Then you can see Duke Energy raising by 1.95%. Then Main Street Capital, it's a monthly payer, so the monthly payments can be slightly higher or lower month to month. Goldman Sachs raising by over 9%. Bank of America raising its dividend by over 8%. Then Devon Energy has its variable dividend component, so overall raising by 31%. So adding up all the expected payments for the month of September, we see it's over $153. And these do not yet include my dividend payments from the ETFs in portfolio. I think the overall value will be upwards of $200. Let's see about that in the next month's video. Next, coming to my Acorns portfolio, whose value is currently $6,182, giving me an annual income of $121.43 at a yield of 1.96%. Looking at my Acorns portfolio for the last month, where it was down just over 2%, along with the entire market. Now, this is my autopilot portfolio, where I invest $25 every week, alongside all the roundup transactions from my purchases. You can see here the recurring investments, the roundup investments. I just give a look at this portfolio once every month during these portfolio dividend videos. Other than that, it's just set it and forget portfolio with my investments going into the large cap VOO, mid cap IJH, small cap IJR, and the international IXUS ETFs. Now, none of these ETFs paid me in the month of August, but there will be some in the month of September. Looking at the overall dashboard, the current value is $69,680 with an annual income of $2,634, yielding 3.78%. So here you can see the monthly dividend here for August of almost $252, much higher than the second month of last quarter, where it was just $114, more than twice that value. Looking at the annual chart, we can see 2023 value has now crossed 2022 value with 4 more months remaining. These are good charts to look at and be inspired and motivated. Now this one, the dividends growth chart. By end of September, this value, like we saw, expected payment of $150 from the ones that have declared, including ETFs and everything. I'm assuming close to $200 to $50 for the month of September. So adding that, this particular bar should be higher than what it was in Q2. So the laddered growth keeps continuing. Looking at the fund metrics, right now they can be fun, but as we get closer to retirement age, these will be a very important one to look at. Right now, the monthly dividend, it's at almost $220. The weekly dividend is $50.67. Daily, $7.22. Then hourly, like a 24-hour day, it's at 30 cents. But if you look at the work hour, it's like if you're working 8-hour day, that's like $1.27. So I hope by the time it's retirement age, this work hour dividend, I hope to have it much higher than then hourly pay, whatever it might be in the future. So yeah, that's my portfolio dividends for the month of August. Hope you all like this video. And if so, I would really appreciate if you could hit the like and subscribe buttons so that YouTube can suggest this video to many more people out there. And that would really help this young channel. So until we meet in the next video, let's try to do as much as possible to be financially healthy and keep taking those small strides towards financial freedom. See ya. Bye.